Hundreds of jobs when Sandals Beaches gets going in January. The Barbados Labour Party's 80th Annual Conference is underway. And in sports, the Windies level their ODI series with a stunning victory over India.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
And a very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the CBC Evening News. And our top story, Prime Minister Mia Amor Mottley says her Barbados Labour Party has been given a mandate like no other administration in the history of this country. She says a year ago the party was aware that things were bad but did not expect the magnitude of debt the island has found itself in since coming to office 5 months ago. Ms. Mottley has made it clear that Barbados has reached a point where the country cannot afford the cost of corruption anymore and has put wrongdoers on notice. She says government is trying to renegotiate some contracts that were entered into, in some cases, mere weeks before the last general election. The Prime Minister was delivering her address at the BLP's 80th Annual Conference at the Lodge School this evening.
We have come to the point where these contracts cannot be accepted. I spoke to you earlier and told you we are paying $1 million a month effectively for a building and a lease. And for those who say that I know the people, I know them. I know everybody across Barbados too. And nobody must ever get confused with friendship and duty. And nobody must ever get confused with contribution and ownership. This woman here will not be held hostage to anybody or by anybody.
Ms. Mottley says her administration has been able to bring some level of stabilization to the South Coast sewage system. She says that they are in the process of holding discussions with international partners to chart the way forward for the island's sewage system.
I have asked the minister, and you know me, that there have been some smells. Talk to the country and tell them why. Talk to the country and tell them that in the cleaning of the Graham Hall swamp, all of which has been done on the eastern side by the Ministry of Health, for 1/6 of the cost that it would have costed if we went to the private sector. Talk to them to explain that if you start to destabilize and to move the earth that has been compacted, that of necessity you will get some orders. But also tell the country that through your use of technology and with the people with whom you are working, you have been able to find some of the breaches and you've been able to start to fix them.
And the BLP's annual conference got underway last night with Party Chairman and Minister of Housing and Lands George Payne saying the resounding victory at the polls exceeded the expectations of its founding fathers and visionary goals set since the 1930s. Members of Parliament, along with supporters, again celebrated the election victory with an awards ceremony at the Lodge School. Kishmar Sinjus reports.
BLP Chairman George Payne says victories in 4 key seats were a catalyst for the BLP to make a clean sweep at the polls. Those seats being St. John, St. Michael South, St. Michael Northwest and St. Lucie. His mantra during the election campaign, "Give me 4 and we will earn the rest." Mr. Payne says the May 24th election was historic on several fronts.
The comprehensive victory of Charles Griffith in this constituency has informed the holding of this annual conference here at the Law School. But more importantly, the elevation of the Honorable Mayor Amor Mottley as the first female Prime Minister is indeed the crowning achievement. She brought to the campaign a level of professionalism that I had never experienced in my previous 7 campaigns since 1981.
Conference Arrangement Committee Chair Kurt Haynes says the BLP can stand proud of a legacy of putting Barbados first.
Similar to the 1930s, the 1970s, the 1990s, and early 2000s, we must again embark on a great work. Make no mistake, it will not be easy. It is therefore for all of us, as committed Barbados Labour Party members and loyal citizens of Barbados, to put our hands to the wheel and our shoulders to the plow. This general conference of our great party represents an annual high point in the life of this organization.
Researcher Sherrod McCaskey took those present back in time during his address, The BLP at 80, from Adams to Mottley.
It was expected that in the aims and objectives which these men drafted for the Barbados Labour Party at that historic March 31st, 1938 meeting would include the intentions to provide, and I quote here, political expression for law-abiding inhabitants of this island, enabling them to participate in the development of democratic institutions, promote the social and economic improvement of its people, and to stimulate on the part of the people an intelligent outlook on social, economic, and political problems.
The highlight of the evening, the awards ceremony. Several Barbadians were recognized for their contribution to the development of the BLP. Dillal Bradshaw was presented with the Granley Adams Award. Aaron Truss, the BLP Special Award. St. John MP Charles Griffith was presented with a Party Chairman's Award. At the constituency, the most outstanding executive committee. Carla Daniel was recognized for her advocacy and protection of sea turtles. Prime Minister Mir Amor Mottley was recognized by the BLP's Women League and presented with a painting from the party. Kishma St-Gis, CBC News.
Well, some 1,800 Barbadians will be employed when the popular Sandals Family Resort Beaches breaks ground at the Old Ammon Beach site in St. Peter come January. Prime Minister Mia Amor Mottley made a visit to the estimated $400 million project site yesterday, where she toured the area with Sandals Chairman Gordon Butch Stewart, Tourism Minister Kerry Simmons, and other senior officials. Ryan Broom tells us more.
In what will be the single largest construction project ever undertaken in Barbados, and the single largest project undertaken in the Sandals chain, the Old Ammon Beach site is expected to be transformed into what is already being described as potentially one of the best resorts in the world. Boasting 532 keys that can be expanded to 600 rooms, tenders will be issued for the project, which Prime Minister Mia Amor Mottley says will ultimately benefit both the people of Barbados and the investors.
I have every confidence that you are going to be in a position to start very shortly. The reality also is for us, as we have indicated, that this is part of the light that is necessary to bring hope and to help Barbados out of this very difficult set of circumstances.
And Tourism Minister Kerry Simmons also lauded the planned construction start.
I think that it sends a very positive signal to all who have ears to hear and eyes to see that the investment potential of this country is alive and well, and that there is still an elasticity of demand.
Meanwhile, Chairman of Sandals Resorts International, Gordon Butch Stewart, says he was impressed with the work done by Barbadian developers on the existing Sandals and Sandals Royal properties in Christchurch, and he's confident that the high standard will be seen again on the beach's development.
I don't think the 500 keys really explains properly how modern this product is. It is easily the most modern product that we have. It'll be, in my view, the finest family resort anywhere in the entire world.
And just what does the Beaches Resort have in store? Well, in addition to a train running throughout the resort with 3 stations and a boardwalk, project manager Terence Devine says some of the attractions will place Barbados even more prominently on the world tourism map.
We'll have a 80-seat cinema. We'll have a 600-seat conference facility. We'll have a 6-lane bowling alley. We'll also have a 2-acre water park themed under the brand Soup Bowl for the famous surfing beach in Barbados. We'll have a 6-foot surf simulator We'll also have a zip line.
Meanwhile, during the tour of the property, Prime Minister Mottley was also reassured that both the onshore and offshore marine environment will be prioritized by developers. This will include preserving the nesting sites for turtles that currently frequent the beach, along with the start of an extensive coastal protection project to preserve the onshore and offshore marine environment before, during, and after the project's completion. Ryan Broom, CBC News.
And there's some good news for local hoteliers. Prime Minister Mottley has announced that government is moving to further level the concessions playing field by giving them access to the same concessions now afforded to Sandals.
Immediately, I can say that for those persons in the Barbados hotel sector who now currently have to go every 2 to 3 weeks to get a renewal from the Ministry of Tourism, I've indicated to the Minister of Tourism that that is unacceptable and that they should equally be allowed the same benefit that Sandals has now with respect to that which they are already enjoying, but only get it if they send somebody in a car, drive up to the Ministry of Tourism, wait and hope that somebody will write out a form, wait and hope that the minister will sign it amidst all of his other duties, collect the form, and take it back down the road.